Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you new here, my name is Donna, and for those of you not new, thank you so much for continuing to come back and support my channel. I appreciate every single one of you so very much for being here. Today is Vlogmas Day 3, and today I have an exciting collab for you all. I'm sure that you saw it as the title of this video today, but I am doing my very first collab with my friend Sherri. Her channel name here on YouTube is Sherri Ward, and we are doing our 5 favorite holiday movies in a get ready with me fashion. So I did create this look today in this movie. In this video. I hope that you guys know Miss Sherri Ward, but if you do not, Miss Sherri is somebody who I found about a year ago, I guess, here on YouTube, and I found her through another lady I watch, Miss Courtney KH, who will be the star of another collab later on this month. She is an amazing content creator. I think of her as very kindred to myself. We're approximately the same age, have approximately the same mindset as far as a lot of the things that she talks about goes. I love her channel. She has some amazing content. She is funny. She's so funny, funnier than I could ever dream of being. And she always puts bloopers at the end of her videos. You guys really should go watch her. She does unboxing, she does tutorials, she does a lot of collabs. She's part of a collab group, and I do watch several of those ladies. She's part of a collab group here on YouTube. I think they're called the Divine Nine right now. They were, you know, one name and then another name, and as they add people and people drop off, they change the name of it. But I think that whole group is cool. Sherri, Courtney, Nona, they're my faves. A few of my faves. But on Instagram, she goes by Pink Share Bear. Go find her on Instagram. Find her here on YouTube. Tell her I sent you. She's been around these parts for about, YouTube states that she's been here since 2006. She posted her first video 4 years ago, and she's been super active over the last couple years. So we've been really active together about the same amount of time. She does all kinds of things. She is a teacher, which I commend her for. My daughter wants to be a teacher, so and that's probably where her sense of humor comes from, honestly, because to be around children all day long, you have to have a groovy sense of humor, right? She is also a Gerard Cosmetics affiliate, so go see her, or most of my friends are Gerard Cosmetic affiliates. Go see her or any one of my friends for a code. You can get some percentage off your Gerard Cosmetic purchases. Anyways, without further ado, we are doing our 5 favorite holiday movies. I cannot wait to hear hers. If you guys do not know her, please go by her channel. Please check her out. Please tell her I sent you. Please subscribe. She is amazing. And if you guys want to see how I came up with this look, just stay tuned. 3rd time's a charm. You see my eyes, you guys? There's no makeup around my eyes. I do have my base done, or did have my base done, but realized that, you know, full eye looked down to see how long I had left on my camera, and I wasn't even recording. So I had to take off my whole eye look, which was whatever, because that eye look wasn't working for me anyway. I am using the Morphe X James Charles collab, because it is my palette roulette palette this week, and that is why. I am not going to go into much of the makeup, but I will tell you I am putting on my MAC soft ochre paint pot, because I know just from watching all the videos with this palette and from using it 2 seconds ago that you have to have a really good eye primer on your eyes, and I don't have the P. Louise eye primer, so I'm going to use my soft ochre one. I am really excited about this video, and it's not going to be about the makeup mostly anyways. It is a get ready with me, but it is my very first collab with Miss Sherri Ward, and I am super stoked about that. She is somebody that I really find to be a kindred spirit in this whole game of life. One of these days I'll get my poop in a group and have myself together enough to not have to film a video 15 times before it actually goes through, but not today. My oldest daughter is taking my youngest daughter to Frozen 2 tonight, so it seems like now is a fitting time to do my eye makeup. And today we are talking about our 5 favorite holiday films. And my first holiday film is Edward Scissorhands. So this has been a favorite of mine since I was a child, obviously. This film came out in 1990, and it is a Tim Burton film, and it is about a young, like, robot boy who wasn't completed by his maker, who was a scientist in a, like, suburb town, and he is trying to make himself a boy, and Edward Scissorhands is that boy, and he died in the middle of making him, so he left him incomplete. Avon lady, who I can't remember who she's played by, finds him as she's doing her Avon stuffs and takes him home, and he and her daughter fall in love. So this is unconventional love story of this half boy, half robot guy who falls in love with Winona Ryder, the daughter of this Avon lady. I think that this video really speaks to inclusion. I think it is like ahead of its time. It was speaking to inclusion before we even started boasting inclusion, right? Now inclusion is something that is talked about in almost every workplace, right? You want to be inclusive, you want to make sure that everybody feels welcome and loved, and this video really hit the mark on what inclusion means, because Johnny Depp plays a kid with scissors for hands. So in this movie, I laughed, I cried, I fell in love. I think that this is an amazing little Christmas movie. It has a super sad ending, though. I feel for Johnny Depp's character in the end because he's still left alone. But this is what I would consider my favorite holiday movie from, like, my teen years. Because even though 1990 I wasn't quite, living my best life as a teenager, it was still pretty early in my teen years, I guess. It was just the epitome of an amazing love story. And I think it's honestly where I kind of fell in love with Johnny Depp. I never watched 21 Jump Street when I was a kid, and that's, I think, where he was known for at that point in time. But I certainly fell in love with him with Edward Scissorhands, that's for sure. The second movie on my list is actually a controversial movie that a lot of people don't think of as a holiday movie. And it is Die Hard. So Die Hard is a 1988 film that starred Bruce Willis, and he stars as a detective who flies home, well, not home, it's not his home anymore, but he flies back to LA because he is in New York at the time working, and he wants to make nice with his estranged wife, right? He wants to rekindle their romance. He goes to her holiday party, and the holiday party is taken over by terrorists, and he is the only one not taken hostage and has to fight these terrorists on his own to save his estranged wife, who he's trying to rekindle his life with. This is something that most people don't think of as a holiday movie because it is an action film. It's about terrorists, and I can't really for the life of me fathom why people don't think of it as a holiday movie, honestly, because it's about this guy going home for the holidays to woo back his wife. So what part of that isn't holiday centric? But I've seen it talked about on the internet as if it's not a holiday movie. So I don't know. I think it is. He saves the day, of course. This lone man that has to fight off terrorists, and somehow he does it. My third holiday movie stems from my childhood, and that is Gremlins. So I guess first of all, who doesn't believe that Die Hard is a holiday movie? I would love to hear your sound off in the comments section. But who else believes that Gremlins is a holiday movie? So this is a comedy / horror that, yes, my parents let me watch way back when. That, you know, if I have to be honest, I might not have let my children watch at that age. It's a 1984, I think. 1984 film that is about this guy who finds his kid. He's a gadget salesman, a gadget maker, a gadget dude. And he finds his kid the perfect gift, quote unquote, perfect gift at like Chinatown, right? And it is a pet called a mogwai. And I don't know anybody that is my age that didn't want one of those mogwai for Christmas. That gizmo was the cutest thing. He named it Gizmo, you know, because he's a gadget guy, of course. Gizmo was the cutest thing. And I, for one, wanted one so bad when I was a kid. I used to wish my dad was a gadget salesman and went to Chinatown and found me a gizmo because I wanted one. But here's the thing. These little creatures could not, as cute as they were, they could not eat after midnight, they couldn't be around bright light, and they couldn't get wet. So one fateful night, our little mogwai friend Gizmo got wet, had eaten after midnight. Sneaky little sucker he was. And had been exposed to bright light. And then these things started popping up on his back that just kind of appeared to be fur balls. And watching this movie, like, this day and age, like, you realize how much better our movies are. I mean, shoot, our video games are better these days than this movie was, to be honest. But these little destructive monsters take over the town. They start destroying things. And Gizmo saves the day. Yep, that's it. That's it. He saves the day, and he saves Christmas. And I think that the movie is fun and maybe a little scary for a kid that was my age at that point in time, but I really loved it. I think about it every time I think of Christmas and my childhood, because it's kind of like the song Thriller, you know, during Halloween. It's actually turned out a lot better than the last I looked. Okay, so the fourth movie that I think of when I think of holiday movies is The Santa Claus. It's Claus with an E at the end. It's got Tim Allen in it. And in it, he is, the movie starts out with him trying to prove to his boy that he has, parental custody of for the holiday, that there is such a thing as Santa, because his mother and his stepdad are trying to tell him otherwise. And anyways, he's reading him a Christmas story. They hear some noise on the roof. He goes out to see what's going on and startles, quote unquote, Santa Claus. Santa falls off the roof and he dies. Well, when Tim Allen figures out that he was Santa Claus and he has killed Santa Claus, he knows that the show must go on. The little red coat says, "Please put me on." So he puts on the red coat and becomes Santa Claus. Well, when they're done, his kid helps him. When they're done, they go to the North Pole, where he's told he's Santa, and he doesn't necessarily believe it, doesn't necessarily not believe it, but they find out he's Santa Claus, and he goes back home, wakes up, thinks it's all like a dream, and then as the year goes by, he starts changing into Santa Claus. And so now he's in this place where he needs to prove to everybody that he's Santa Claus. And nobody believes him. It can get a little bit fat shamey. I don't think it would fly in this day and age as far as, movies go and their political correctness. It's definitely not politically correct for this day and age. But I don't know. I just loved it. And the reason why I hold this movie so near and dear to me is because it came out in 94, which is the same year my oldest child was born. So it was his first Christmas that this movie came out. And we watched it. And we used to watch it often. We watched it often. It was our regular programming for Christmas. So when I, see the movie, I think of my oldest child and I sitting on my giant waterbed watching this movie on my DV or VCR, and because I didn't pay for cable back then, because I was, a young single mom, and I couldn't afford cable. So I had all kinds of movies on VCR, and that's what we watched. So I remember Christmases with him sitting on, this waterbed watching these movies. So the dad is a Santa. And it actually ended up being the first of, it had, I think, 1, maybe 2 sequels to it. I really just think it's fun. And Tim Allen is super, super funny. I can't do my eyeliner and talk at the same time. I'm going to step away, put on some eyeliner and mascara. I'll be right back. The last movie that I have to talk about, I like these eyes. Finally, is How the Grinch Stole Christmas. So I am not a Jim Carrey fan. Not at all a Jim Carrey fan. And I know that's probably an unpopular opinion. But I am a Grinch fan. I loved the cartoon version of the Grinch. So when they made a live action version of it, like, to my dismay, it was to have Jim Carrey in it. But for those of you who know me well, you know that I am often called the Grinch because I'm not a huge Christmas person. As a matter of fact, if it weren't for the fact that I have 6 kids, I probably wouldn't celebrate it. I kind of really hate the consumerism of it all, and I kind of really I don't know, I just am not a Christmas person. I'm just not. And so the Grinch is a character who is actually somebody I find to be a kindred to myself. So I love the cartoon of it. And when I found out that they were making a live action, I of course had to see it, but was super not impressed with the fact that they were going to have Jim Carrey in this as the Grinch, because I don't really love Jim Carrey. But he is, I mean, really, let's talk about it. He is really a good actor. I think I just grew out of love with Jim Carrey because when my oldest son was young, we had, of course, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, and that was all we watched. Again, let me remind you what I just spoke about, which was that we didn't have cable because I was a single mom who just couldn't afford it. We didn't have cable, so, and pretty much my TV was ran by my small child at that point in time. So, yeah. And like Jim Carrey, I watched this movie with a grain of salt, thinking I was going to hate every minute of it, that it wasn't going to be what I thought it needed to be, because, you know, I am a Grinch fan, but not a Jim Carrey fan. I fell in love with Jim Carrey in this movie. Like, okay, so that being said, like, I am still not a huge Jim Carrey fan, but he did really well in this movie as the Grinch. And I love that movie. It is so much fun. We recently, over the summer, for my daughter's graduation, one of my moms and myself and my daughter went to Universal Studios for part of our trip, and we went to Universal Studios in Disneyland, and we got to see the set of the Grinch, and I was so stoked. I actually have pictures of it. I'll have to see if I can post them in here. I was super stoked because it is probably my favorite. The animated version, of course, and now this version, my favorite Christmas movie of all time. Alright, you guys, I just have a lip to do, and then we are done. Let's put on this, maybe. Alright, guys, this is the final look. I hope that you guys enjoyed my video talking about my 5 favorite holiday movies. I cannot wait to hear Sherri's because she's a little more elegant than I am. I think that's where she and I maybe differ a little bit, but she's more elegant than I am, so I can't wait to hear her video favorites for the holidays. What I will say is this doesn't negate the fact that I like things like, you know, White Christmas, and as a matter of fact, I've seen White Christmas as a live action, like as a play in an amphitheater that was amazing. I enjoyed every single second of that. But like, I also like A Christmas Story, you know, with Ralph and the gun and you're gonna shoot your eye out. Like, that also brings back memories to my childhood. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Frosty the Snowman, Charlie Brown Christmas. Like, those movies aren't lost on me, but these 5 movies that I just talked about are like my all-time favorite holiday movies, the ones that I want to sit down and watch when they come on, the ones that I would watch over and over and over again. I love these films, and some of them are, God, you know, 1984 for Gremlins, 1988 for Die Hard, 1990 for Edward Scissorhands, 94 for the Santa Claus. Like, they're really 2000 for How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I cannot believe that that movie is that old. That's insane. But like, I really love these movies, and I really want them to be, I really would sit down and watch them every single time. Not that I wouldn't with the other ones, but these ones are the ones that resonate with me, within me, give me some kind of feeling about them, you know, for whatever reason, as a holiday movie. So I can't wait to hear Sherri's. I am really excited to hear Sherri's. Actually, like I said, she's a little more elegant than I, so I feel like her movies might be a little more mainstream holiday movies, whereas mine, I feel like, are a little bit more controversial, honestly. But please, 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 if you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you are not subscribed to me yet, I would love for you to subscribe. It would warm my heart so, so very much. And if you do that, please don't forget to hit that notification bell down there. I am uploading content every single day in December, but typically my upload schedule is every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 a.m. But for the holidays, for Vlogmas, we're doing it every single day, and the times are going to vary, so I really wouldn't want you to miss anything. So please do hit that bell. Please also go say hello to my friend Sherri. Again, this is our first collab together, so I'm super excited about it, and I cannot wait to see hers. And I hope that you're having an amazing day. I hope that you're having an amazing December thus far. I know we're only a few days in, but please do what you can to center yourself and give yourself all the good vibes in your mental health going into this wonderful month that we call December and our holiday craziness. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, bye guys. I have to tell you guys, I'm not having a real good time with this palette. I am not a horrible... I know how to do some good eye looks, and I just...